Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, July 7. On this date in 1990, WCW held its Great American Bash pay-per-view. In the main event, Sting defeated Ric Flair to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2008, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from New Orleans, Louisiana. In the main event, Batista defeated John Bradshaw Layfield, John Cena, and Kane in a fatal four-way match. On this date in 1996, WCW held its Bash at the Beach pay-per-view. In the main event, Lex Luger, Randy Savage, and Sting fought Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and mystery partner Hulk Hogan to a no contest. Hogan's appearance marked the official beginning of the New World Order faction. This has been Today in Wrestling History, July 7.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon on 1490 WBCB.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, talking all different kinds of stuff in wrestling, including, as you heard there in the Today in Wrestling History segment, yes, 16 years ago today was the official formation of the NWO, the New World Order, as Hulk Hogan turning his back on the fans after being a fan favorite for the better part of 14 years. Can't believe it was, 16 years ago today. Where does the time go? All right, a couple bits and pieces and news and notes, and then we'll get back to the phone. As I had said before the break, former TNA Knockouts champion Angelina Love, she announced that she was released by the company. Quote, "To all my wonderful fans, just want to let you know that I've been granted my release from TNA." This, of course, was on Twitter. "It was completely amicable parting of ways, and I want to thank TNA for all of its employees, for the wonderful journey I've had over the years. Now I'm on to the next amazing chapter of my life." And in a similar vein, Shannon Moore, the other half who remained of Inc., as Jesse Neal left a couple months ago, he announced that he received his release from TNA. Quote, "Just want to let you all know, I asked for my release from TNA, and they granted me my release. Wanted you all to hear it from me. Thanks all." So, best of luck to Angelina Love and Shannon Moore and whatever their future endeavors are as they've been granted their releases. Let's go ahead and get back. We've got Ron on the line. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly. You said, I think we have Ron.
She's there.
Okay, maybe we don't have Ron. All right. The phone ribbing looks like it's continuing here. All right, let's try line 3, I guess, where we've got longtime friend of the show, Nubius Black. What is going on? Somebody's ribbing me here. All right. We've got some more news and notes. We'll figure out the phones. Come back to that in just a moment here. Some other notes here. Hall of Famer Bret Hart. He's been announced to appear on the Raw 1000th episode coming up on July 23rd. The Hitman just celebrated his 55th birthday this past Monday. Congrats and many more to the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. All right, let's see if we've got the phone issues taken care of. Let's try Ron again here on Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Yes, Ron?
Ron, you there? Huh. The phones were working fine earlier. I don't know what is going on. All right, we'll see what we can do about. We'll get Wild Bill Melody figuring that out, and we've got a few other bits and pieces of information. It's like deja vu all over again from a couple weeks ago. WWE, they announced the cancellation of the SmackDown tapings scheduled for July 10th at the World Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Of course, the event was canceled due to the Waldo Canyon fire. I'm sure you've seen and heard that over the news. The company will now tape SmackDown after Raw this Monday night, and that'll be at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. And WWE also announcing that it's going to donate $10,000 to the American Red Cross to help families affected by those wildfires. So, nice gesture of goodwill from WWE to help out. All right, we've got Nubius back up here. We're going to give that a try. Nubius, you on the line with us here? What is going on? Denny, help out here. All right, we'll have to see what we can do about figuring things out here, because it doesn't seem to be going on. All right, other news. This is interesting. The Rock. I'm sure you're familiar with him, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A report just came out, courtesy of Forbes magazine. The Rock is listed as ranked number 4 on the Forbes list of highest paid actors from May 2011 to May 2012, trailing only behind Adam Sandler and Leonardo DiCaprio, both tied at second with $37 million last year. The Rock coming in just below them at $36 million. Of course, the highest paid actor, Tom Cruise, dwarfing everybody with $75 million in that 1 year span. Not a bad gig if you can get it, to say the least. TNA had announced that the Tessmacher, and in case you missed it, the Miss Tessmacher Gail Kim match for the Knockouts title that was supposed to take place this past Thursday on Impact, as previously advertised, that has been moved to this coming Thursday, July 12th. The storyline explanation: Gail Kim's lawyer found a clause that requires Kim receive at least 8 days' notice of her rematch. And as I'd mentioned before the break, former WWE and TNA star Bobby Lashley, he issued a press release to announce that he is once again taking professional wrestling bookings. He is also available for autograph signings and other appearances, though it looks like Lashley hasn't given up on his mixed martial arts aspirations. He's still training for MMA fights, but he is taking independent bookings on the side. So there you go. If you want to book Bobby Lashley, he's got his info out there. Also, some notes for Destination X, and I'll give my predictions certain to go wrong. Jeremy Borash announced at the end of the TNA post show he'll be joining Mike Tenay on commentary for tomorrow's Destination X pay-per-view. He stated that Taz would miss the show due to family commitments. Seems to be an annual thing, as last July Taz had missed the pay-per-view due to family issues as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup. Huh? Oh, we're going to give... All right, we'll get to the predictions certain to go wrong in a second. I think we have the phone issues taken care of, hopefully. Let's go... Which line do we got up? All right, let's give one of them a try here. All right, you're on the air. Welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Anybody talking?
There we go. We got Nubius up. All right.
I thought I got kicked off by a gecko.
No. No, that was Steve earlier, apparently. It's probably, I think it's the gecko that's causing all these technical problems.
It's the ghost in the machine, baby. It's the ghost.
The ghost in the machine. All right, what's on your mind?
I mean, you brought it to my attention, and you were like, oh, yeah, Wrestlers Over 40. I'm like, hey, that should be my little call-in time. It's Wrestlers Over 40 time. It's cracking, man. You know about August 4th, right?
I do know about August 4th. That's over at Eagle Hall, the UWF, the return of Madman Moose Moretti.
Yeah, that's just the cherry on top. That's a big-ass cherry, but it's a cherry on top. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have a rubber match, I was told. That this is the third and final match between Newbies Black and East L.A. Can you believe it?
Wow, that's a feud that's gone on over a couple of years now.
Yeah,
and I've been happy to say that I've been in attendance for the other two.
And East LA, he's so slow. He thinks that the rubber match we're gonna be beating each other in the head with condoms, but it ain't even gonna be that kind of party. You dig?
Oh dear, absolutely.
We're gonna have. I think it's a stretcher match, man. I think we're gonna take it to that last level in a stretcher match, and whoever gets left out on the stretcher, the one standing is the winner. And I'm planning on that to be me. I don't know about you, son.
I wouldn't bet against you.
You shouldn't bet against me because I know where you live, man. I know where you live.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And then, I hear...
Always bet on Nubius Black.
Yeah, bet on Black, baby. Bet on Black. You know it. You read the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the Empire there, Nigerian Nightmares, and me. What's that look like, man? It looks like an NAACP meeting out there in Levittown. Y'all ain't used to that. I think we should get you in as the brains and the mouthpiece, man. We'd be in business. We'll take over UWF, baby. What do you think?
Well, maybe the mouthpiece. I don't know about the brains. I'm I don't know how I get through this show on a weekly basis.
Well, you pull it off with all these phone figment jigs. And in closing, dude, I just want to know, when I watch AJ, I feel like a dirty old man.
I'm not there yet, but I'm not too far behind either.
She's hot in all the wrong kind of ways for a man north of 40, baby. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. Punk seems to dig the crazy chicks. Not necessarily my cup of tea, though. So,
but no offense to any of the ladies out there, they're all crazy chicks, dude. For 23 years.
You're getting me into so much trouble, but I should be used to it by now.
With that, I'm gonna leave before my wife come and get me.
There you go. Hopefully she wasn't tuning in, at least for this immediate moment.
Well, the way she's looking at me, I'm pretty sure she's tuning in.
Oh, she's at least hearing one side of the conversation, and I don't know if it's necessarily the right side. Thanks so much for the call, Nubius. Nubius Black, of course, from the UWF, longtime friend of the show. You never know what's going to happen when he gets on the phone, and that's certainly another example of it. All right, at least we know we got the phones back up and running. That's a good side. All right, let's see if Ron's hanging on here, and we'll go ahead and get to Ron here. Ron, are you on the line?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Okay.
Oh, thank God. Him, it's like hearing rap was. I'm calling about, you mentioned the 2 releases from TNA, and I tell you, I miss the beautiful people and all from this tag team that out there with, they were good teams in their day. I wonder if you catch any of the old YouTube interviews with Jim Cornette when he talks about John Laurinaitis?
I could look those up. I mean, that's I don't know. I don't necessarily get requests. I know I try to put up various clips with my Today in Wrestling History, which
there's an uncensored interview with Jim Cornette when he talks about John Laurinaitis, and I tell you, he couldn't be more graphic when he talks about John Laurinaitis, the man himself. I mean, I never thought I'd hear the stuff I heard on it. I mean, Cornette's pretty good. I mean, for a big mouth. I mean, the stuff he said about John Laurinaitis is pretty good stuff. Also, it was off the wall. It was kind of good stuff. And I caught other interviews with Jimmy Cornette, and that's something I like to do is when I'm spare time, is do the old YouTube stuff, and really good stuff.
Yeah, Jim Cornette is definitely not one to pull punches. I mean, you never know what he's going to say. I mean, I found that out firsthand when I interviewed him a couple of years ago. So, you never know where things are going to go with Jim Cornette. And, on one hand, I mean, because he's, I guess, a loose cannon, that's as far as his mouth, and because you never know where he's going to go, it is a bit of a risk. But at the same time, you have to appreciate that candor and honesty that he throws out there, and that sharp wit as well, which I think is right up there. I mean, Heenan was the best, but I mean, Cornette's definitely up there as far as just wit and quick reaction.
Stuff from, believe it or not, I caught stuff from Roddy Piper too.
Oh, well, Piper's a whole nother category.
Yeah, well, I mean, YouTube. I mean, I go back to the archive stuff. I listen to the archive stuff a lot, and the matches, and the archive matches. I mean, when I caught a match that I didn't even know existed, was the Great Khali and Big Show. And that was in one of the pay-per-views. I didn't even know that this match ever took place. I thought you didn't even know them. When I looked at them both standing up against each other, they said the Big Show is supposed to be taller than the Great Khali. I think that Great Khali is supposed to be like a half an inch taller than the Big Show.
I'll have to go back and look at that. Anyway, I'm closing up. I'm just about ready to close up shop here, and I still got the predictions starting to go wrong. Thanks so much for the call. Thanks for your patience hanging on with us here. I know we had some issues with the phones, but let's take a look at the Destination X lineup for tomorrow. We've got a few matches that aren't exactly set because they won't have the seating set up until tomorrow, but of course the X Division title tournament. The match that we definitely have set is the last chance four-way between the four losers of the initial entry into the tournament, into the semifinals. So you've got Dakota Darso, Rubix, Lars Only, and Mason Andrews. I'm going to go with Darso just because, well, it's the most recognizable name, and hopefully they'll go with that second-generation push. Of course, Dakota Darso, son of Barry Darso, who was, among other characters, Smash of Demolition, as well as the Repo Man, and that short-lived hole-in-one Barry Darso from 99 in WCW. And then, of course, the semifinals matches. The seeding is going to be determined tomorrow at the pay-per-view. The four winners of the semifinals will go on to the Ultimate X match later in the night to crown that new X Division champion. So far in the tournament, you've got Douglas Williams, Kid Cash, Zema Ion, Flip Casanova, Kenny King, which, interesting note about that, I'll get into in a minute, Rashad Cameron, and Sanjay Dutt, as well as the 8th spot going to that winner of the last chance four-way. I think ultimately Douglas Williams, I think, is going to get the X Division championship back after being off camera for a little while. That's my prediction on that. And I mentioned Kenny King, of course. He was notable for being one half of the tag team champions in Ring of Honor. And, his contract was up with Ring of Honor, and he's severed ties with them by wrestling on Impact this past Thursday. He still technically is one half of the Ring of Honor tag team champions. His contract expired June 24th and was on a handshake agreement to check out other organizations as long as he didn't wrestle for them, but by appearing on Impact this past Thursday, Ring of Honor has severed ties with King because of his, quote, breach of his verbal agreement. So a little bit of a burnt bridge there for Kenny King. Also looking at the other matches for Destination X, of course, you've got Samoa Joe against Kurt Angle in a Bound for Glory series match. I think Angle is going to take that one just to get a little bit closer to the top of the field. That depending on whether it's a pin or submission, either way, to put him in sole possession of third place in the Bound for Glory series, although we still have a long way to go. But I think Angle's going to take that one. AJ Styles against Christopher Daniels in a last man standing match. I think Styles is going to take that, and we'll see where things go with the continuation of the feud, the involvement of Claire, and all that sort, to say the least. And Bobby Roode, Austin Aries for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think Roode is going to retain. I still think they're kind of slowly leading us in the direction of Bobby Roode against James Storm at Bound for Glory. That's at least what I'm sticking with. I think Austin Aries' time will come, but not necessarily right now. But he definitely has a bright future ahead of him. I think he's kind of on the cusp in the way that Dolph Ziggler's been on the cusp for about the last year or so over in the WWE. So I think Dakota Darso for the last chance four-way, Williams to win the X Division championship, Angle in the Bound for Glory series match, AJ Styles in the last man standing, and Bobby Roode to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. I'll be back to go over all that, preview Money in the Bank, get predictions certain to go wrong for that, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget the Nasty Boys right after the show next week over at George's Cards and Collectibles here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB.
1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton.